Hey everyone, today I want to discuss something with you about Monsanto. It's very serious. For those that don't know, Monsanto is basically the makers of DDT and Agent Orange and other dirty chemicals. And Agent Orange, for those that don't know, was dropped on the Vietnam people and burned all their skin and made the kids come out with deformities, and everyone was burned, and they killed a lot of people, the US government. And obviously Monsanto sell that chemical, they make that chemical. So they're also the leaders of the glyphosate, in the Roundup, in the pesticides, which causes birth defects and other cancers in people, and all of this is proven. And so anyway, they're a chemical company, they're not a food company, they're a chemical company. And what we're seeing is their involvement more and more in food over the years, bringing out all these different foods that can harm us and carcinogens basically. And that's one thing, they've been my top enemies for a long time due to the other work that I do. And so, they're them, Syngenta, DuPont, Teflon, 3M, these are all very evil people. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but we are going to discuss Monsanto's vision for the takeover of the cannabis industry. Now, they've already bought, more than 30 companies recently to do with cannabis. They're buying another 50 in the next few days. They bought loads as well last year. So what we're seeing now is not just a monopolization of it, but because you might say, oh, what's the problem? It doesn't matter, who's getting the money. But listen, there's a huge problem, because everyone who has any involvement with Monsanto, we're talking from the people that working in the factories to the people that live nearby, who drink the water from the water supply, where they're dumping all their chemicals into the water supply. Everyone who has any contact with that company, even people who eat corn, over time, they get sick. Any involvement with that company. So, just to touch on that, people might say corn, the whole of the corn industry, all corn in the world, or 99.9% of all corn, is Monsanto NK603 corn. And that's genetically modified corn that is basically resistant to the pesticide that they sell, so that they can sell that and sell the corn seed, and the farmers can spray the pesticides and kill everything else, but it won't kill the corn. The issue is that has been linked to various cancers over the years, and they got passed through the FDA, through the revolving door. People just left Monsanto to go and work at the FDA, and so these things were approved. And now we're in a state where Monsanto's corn, so we're talking popcorn, sweet corn, corn on the cob, corn oil, the fake canola oil, any kind of thing that is even slightly to do with corn is genetically modified, and it's causing a lot of cancers. And so the problem is when they get into this industry, if they buy up everything in the cannabis industry, which they're trying to do now, the problem we're going to have is the pesticides are going to be sold to the growers, and the companies who create it are going to be sold the pesticide by Monsanto. And obviously there's going to be some regulation where Monsanto gets their own chemical passed through, because they own everything. So it's just going to be, I'm telling you, a disaster, because the food we're going to be smoking, the green we're going to be smoking, is going to be contaminated on the next level. And it's going to be not something like, because you're going to say, but everything is tested. Yeah, tested. But if Monsanto says that this chemical that they have is safe, and it gets, and they're the ones running the show, they can easily get it passed, just like they did in the FDA. So I would suggest that that's what they'll do, no doubt, and that's why they're taking such a strong foothold. And I know what I'm saying here. If you have any doubts, go and look up, Agent Orange and how it destroyed Vietnam. So anyone like that doesn't have a place making food, yeah? And I'm talking about food you eat. So corn shouldn't be made by a chemical company. And, they're the ones that made, the Terminator seeds as well. So Terminator seeds, if you looked that up, that killed half the people in India because the farmers couldn't afford to regrow they couldn't afford to buy more seeds off them. So the Terminator seeds are seeds that are bioengineered to commit suicide after the first attempt. So when the corn cob drops on the floor when it's finished, it won't regrow. You have to buy more. So this is all more of a money grab, and so lots that cause devastation. So these people are just not evil in that way. They're evil in the way they pour chemicals into everywhere. They have factories. They pour the chemicals into the water. People that drink it get cancer. This shit is all proven. You can go and do research on Google Scholars or any other place where you can find real scientific papers and type in there Monsanto cancer, Monsanto Alzheimer's, Monsanto Parkinson's. Trust me, these lot are my number one enemies in the other field of work that I do. And I would suggest that this is the biggest threat we've ever seen to the cannabis industry. Once Monsanto are in on it, and they example, Aurora is owned by Monsanto, and then they're giving their own pesticide to the bud, and then the bud is gonna give you cancer. I'm not in it. I'm not on it. Goodbye to that, and I'm back to organic. Yeah, and it's like there's no other way. I'll just move to Spain where it's all legit, and I'm allowed, because then I can live freely and not have to worry, But it's like, why should we be living like this, where we're contaminated left, right, and centre from all the drinks in? Like, I'll give you an example. I went to the shop about 5 years ago, and I see some drinks in there, like, that was all different. I said, what? Hold on. It was like Rubicon mango, yeah? And Rubicon mango has always been £1. And then, like, I couldn't find it. I saw another mango, Rubicon, different. And he's like, oh, that's the new one. And it looked the same, yeah? But I went to read it, and it said on it, sugar, said sweetener instead of sugar. But the sweetener is carcinogenic. So aspartame and Ace K and Ace Cool for Me K and saccharin and all these, they're just chemicals that cause cancer, and that's proven as well over the years. But once again, in small amounts, because it got in. So they say because it takes X amount to do it to a rat, for example, a mouse, 2 weeks. Oh, for a human of X amount of kilograms, it would take much longer, like 5 years every day, or 20 years. But or they might outlive before the disease sets in. But all these things, like generally recognise the safe and all that, it's all waffle, all complete waffle. So the day when I went in there and I saw this Rubicon mango and it said sweetener, I said, hold on, that used to be £1 and it was sugar, right? And I used to drink it because it just said sugar and mango puree. I was like, so where is the... And then next to it, there's one called Deluxe Mango, yeah? And that has sugar in it, it says, no sweetener. But that's $1.49. So what they did, they removed the old product and kept the same packaging but put sweetener in it, charged the same, and then didn't take away the option for sugar, gave you a deluxe version but you have to pay more for it. And that's when I discovered, the sugar tax. And all of the soft drinks in the shop were sweetener instead of sugar. So this was the first attempt I saw at regular just fizzy drinks and regular juices being targeted in this way of carcinogenics. carcinogens, and this is essentially what's happening with the Monsanto, with the cannabis now. So, guys, be aware. Keep looking out for news on Monsanto. Keep searching for it. The minute it says that buds we get from the clinic is Monsanto, or anything to do with Monsanto or Syngenta, or the what do you call it, wellness company that Monsanto is working with, I'm not on it. Not on it at all, because it's just asking for it. We already have toxins everywhere we go. We don't need it. And more to the point is, we didn't ask for it. So for Monsanto, a chemical company, to be getting into the food industry and now into the medical cannabis industry, trying to target the already sick or the already people who want to use it for medicinal reasons or therapy, it's proper naughty, if you think about what's going on here. So I suggest everyone just do their research. I think right now with that, we're in a dire straits now, because I didn't expect none of it. I definitely didn't expect them in the cannabis industry. I thought that they were just gonna try and give us cancer through the foods, and now it's a full-on assault on this industry. So everyone, I want you to comment on what you think. I mean, going forward, everyone needs to keep well away from Monsanto. I'm not just trying to fearmonger. I have 100 million reasons why Monsanto is not the people that should be running that industry. And UK obviously will lose me as soon as that happens, in terms of buying medical cannabis. And obviously street cannabis, is PGR laced with much worse things. But I know people that make a point of being clean about it, being organic about it, using biobiz and not, so there are ways on the street even that you'll be able to get better than what Monsanto's going to be offering with their cancerous thing. So guys, smoking radiation went too far as well. Even that, there's been tubs tested 6 months after sitting on a shelf, and they had high levels of radiation still testing on them. So that's being consumed, and nobody really knows the long-term effects of that either. And once again, human beings are the guinea pigs for that whole irradiation thing. So ideally non-irradiated, obviously. And it's just mad out here. We're I don't want to talk really too much about the other things going on, like the hive mind they're trying to connect us to and all that, using graphene, and that's for the other channels and all that. But this really does tie into all that, because Monsanto is genetically advancing humans in the worst way possible, and they're at the forefront with Syngenta and DuPont and 3M and the toxic Teflon and Kevlar and all these even nylon. Nylon's basic, people use it for clothes, but even the people who make that haven't got people's best interests at heart, so I'm not going to go on too much, but that's it. I hope it's been helpful. Make sure you comment, and if you didn't like or subscribe, press the button. Peace.